8-5.
Yeah, and I think Scotty Sell would go fairly tight, but Kerr versus Mundy, they're going head-to-head weighing up one man's attack versus the other.
Nick Natanui gets his hands on the ball as Derby 36 gets underway. Mundy with the up and under. Shuey came crashing in, and just a little over-exuberant there was Crowley. He'll be trying to keep him under lock and key. Out for Kerr as they stretch out and try and use the spaces here of Subiaco at Patersons Stadium. Marston inside, but Duffield's able to work his way back. McPhee springing into action. Of course, Dawson's down there alongside him. He's back in the team today. McFarlane, one of the premier defenders in the competition. So it's a better looking Fremantle defence.
McKenzie going with Pavlich. He's had plenty of big jobs, but one out in the 50 is going to be tough.
Oh, Pavlich changed his mind midstream there. Not penalised. It suits the Eagles just fine, though. Marston uses Kerr. Waters makes some room for him on the wing. Hurried kick. Spur comes hard. And it was a good result for him. He had help from Pearce. Gets it again, Spur. Sends it deep. Ballantyne had a run. Didn't try and leap. Wanted to keep his feet. Waters infringed. And it's Ballantyne's ball. And you can tell it's a Fremantle home game.
It's just the emotional control at this stage, Jared. Both players there just too intense to get to the ball in a hurry. The free kick in the midfield and just that one there from Waters is just too aggressive to make a statement. You've still got to be calculated and calm early in these big games.
Well, his mistake was going to the ground, unfortunately, in doing so. He's taken Hayden Ballantyne high. And Ballantyne gets an opportunity to get them on the board. Schofield going with Kepler-Bradley. He's dragging him to the square. He needs to be careful not to give away a free kick, because he nearly did.
13 goals, 14 this year, so Ballantyne hasn't had his kicking boots on. And it drifts off hands and over the line and out of bounds. And just to clarify what I meant by until it's a home Fremantle game, it wasn't the umpire's decision, it was just the crowd roaring when Ballantyne gets involved. And he's a spiritual factor a bit, Jared, isn't he, as well, for Fremantle?
Well, he gets up and about, he gets everybody excited, not just Fremantle supporters, but all neutrals as well. Not sure too many Eagles supporters will be barracking for him today, though.
No, that's for sure. Crowley can't get it under his command, so everyone just a little bit nervous early, as you would be.
McFarlane on Darling.
Big match-up down back, I think. Michael Johnson versus Lynch. If Lynch can engage Johnson, not allowed to be third man in, that'll go a long way to defeating the back six of the Fremantle Dockers.
And Shuey better get used to that. It's Crowley not giving him an inch.
And Bo Waters at this stoppage, he's just pulled back. He's guarding the goal square. He's got an opponent to ball that's just floating up trying to be dangerous, but he's just playing it fairly conservatively.
Ibbotson, Pearce. And it's over and out. So not much to report through the first 2.5 minutes of action at Patersons Stadium. Take your partners for the throw in. A couple of ruckmen went at it. Selwood, Scott was squeezed in there, but Mundy to Barlow. Good combination, well set for Pavlich. He'll take it comfortably. What a big factor he could be this afternoon. We know that McKenzie is capable, Jared, but without his ally in Glass alongside him, the job becomes a lot more difficult.
Much more difficult and almost impossible to beat if the kick is as good as this one. And Michael Barlow has been a great extractor from stoppages, but his kicking often lets him down, but not on this occasion. That was absolutely perfect. It was weighted far enough to get it over the back. And all the big Pav had to do was straighten the arms out, and McKenzie was left stranded.
Well, the scrap is well and truly on for the Coleman medal, and this man is right in the mix for his 48th goal of the season. Matthew Pavlich gives Fremantle the perfect start.
Well, a couple of easy shots at goal early in the piece to just put up a couple of danger signals for the Eagles. Let's have a look. It's Mundy who quickly gets the ball out. And Barlow runs into some space, but it was a good look. He had the look and got the ball over the back. Great kick. Wasn't his best connection there, Pav, but he was close enough to goal to get it through.
Drew Petrie laying down the challenge to all comers earlier today with Bagful.
Just some good work by Kepler-Bradley. He's double teaming, helping Jonathan Griffin in the boundary throw-ins in the forward half, not allowing Nick Nat a clear run at it. That's where Will Schofield has to man him up or push him away from the contest.
Fife tries to bust a move through, but They were ready for him.
Yeah, Shuey's gone on to Hill. I'm not sure if it's trying to break a tag, but they are now going their separate ways. And who would win that battle if they played one off Kingy?
I'd like to see Hill being given a complete run with, Jared. I think he's an incredibly dangerous player.
Walters tried to break through. He's enjoying himself back in the Fremantle team. His 4th game for the year.
Incredibly difficult to score against from stoppages, the Fremantle Dockers. They've got a loose man 40 metres off the back of all these stoppage situations.
Here's Hill, and that'll be just far enough.
And the Eagles, as always, have got Beau Waters just lurking across that half-back line. He reads the ball so well, and he does hit packs.
The Kepler-Bradley factor, Jared. You're big on it. He couldn't take the mark.
There, if he's in the side, they rarely lose, Hutto, against the top opposition included.
That could have been high, or it could have been holding the ball. It was neither of the above. It's out of bounds instead.
I think Nat Nui came off early and just getting some physio work there in his high part of the back.
Pearce watching Critters closely. Both of them involved there. Pearce to Barlow. Pavlich again into the frame, and he takes the mark. And I know it's very early to be asking this question, but have they got any real genuine alternatives to play on him, do you think?
Well, you've got to give it time to settle.
Of course you do, yeah.
The last 3 occasions that they played the Derby, Pavlich had not taken a mark inside the forward 50. He's taken 2 in 5 minutes. There's real alarm bells right here, right now.
In the first 9 rounds, he kicked 11 goals, 36 coming in the last 8 weeks, Matthew Pavlich. 2 goals, 3 last week. And everyone stays silent and stays down because that's a behind. But a promising start for Fremantle, Jared.
Very impressive so far. They've been really good at stoppages. They've got the ball inside their forward 50. Haven't had a damaging move forward yet, the Eagles. And this will be an interesting couple of minutes here just to see how easily they can work the ball out with the Eagles, with the Dockers putting up the full press.
Schofield gives it plenty. Cox the target. Kerr skimming off the pack under duress provided by Ballantyne, which was good play. McGinnity lends a hand. Marston
shouldn't have been able to break that tackle. They kill you.
Hams was ready to wear one, and he did. Kerr brought down McGinnity. Fremantle are here. They're here for the challenge, and they are relentless. That's crazy stuff from McPhee. And how did the umpire not play that as a free kick? Kerr's down.
He's in trouble, Kerr. Hasn't moved.
Chaos here for the moment. I'm still bewildered by that non-decision, Jared, the tackle over the boundary.
Yeah, it was just wasting time and taking a player out of the game. They got away with one here, the Dockers. Like the way the Eagles ran in numbers, though, that looked good, the way they just supported each other and maintained possession.
Pavlich late on the scene. Control Waters, who goes short to Brown in the middle.
Need to use the ball here for a while. Just control the tempo. They've only had 2 effective kicks in 10 minutes of football. Just need to just relax a little bit here. The Eagles going a little bit too fast.
Well, they forced Waters away from his left foot, and it was quite effective, and it puts the others a little bit on the back foot. Butler tried to be cool and calm. Dawson got a little bit of a hand in. Good aggressive play from Walters. The Eagles have been able to maintain possession here, but they've been up against it, and the kick was 50-50 at best. McPhee draws the contact.
Well, amazing running by Beau Waters. We saw him take a couple of possessions behind the centre circle, and he was almost there to intercept that mark from Adam McPhee. Very, very dangerous and significant key to the Eagles match setup.
Sort themselves out here deep in defence. Duffield to McPhee. Cutting a little bit of a fine line, but no damage done yet. So McPhee, does he chance his arm? He does. Through the corridor, there was a couple there. Barlow was one, and he breaks quickly. Main's in his sights. Pavlich has thrown off McKenzie. They get it into him. Hill will shape it, and here it is for Pav. Got it, and got it.
Fantastic passage of play. It was a really smart kick from Adam McPhee, which set it up. They had a couple of players in there. And it was Michael Barlow that brought the ball inside. But this is a free that you were talking about, Hutto, why that wasn't paid as a free kick. But nevertheless, this is the kick. And he wheels out of this one, Stephen Hill. Nice little turn. Look at the work rate of Stephen Hill. Look at him charging through the middle. He can smell something here, and he can smell a goal.
Two goals to Matthew Pavlich, and Fremantle have done all the scoring so far. The energy's up. They're up vibing at him.
Well, 4 inside 50s to 0. They've had all the offensive attack at this stage. Just can't get their game going here, the West Coast. It's a credit to the coaching staff of the Dockers.
Hill to centre half forward. That's where it ends. Gaff, Butler, Shuey, all involved. Butler calling on his teammates to provide something, a path out of defence. McGinnity back to Butler again. The defence working overtime. Promising move to centre half forward. Not quite for Darling. Help from Hearn. Crash. Caught that. McFarlane going in hard.
It's a report, boys.
Just to the shoulder, but look at the first
one. He did get him in the head by the looks, but he is very lucky. If that had been head high. In fact, it's still probably a report. I think it includes the neck, but it'll be looked at, no doubt. Match up now is Stephen Hill running with Matthew Prittis, which is a smart one because Prittis is dangerous inside, but it releases Hill, who, as we just saw, is so dangerous both at times inside, but mainly when he's running with a footy.
So Darling with a kick. He was shaken,
but not stirred.
Not stirred. There's a goal for the Eagles, their first.
Well, what we do know is this guy can kick from outside 50. He gives it plenty of height. And there it is again. Oh, it's just so fortunate for all concerned that that just didn't hit him right plumb on the head. That just has to be a tackle.
That was their second contest, Jared. Darling had worked that hard that McFarlane couldn't go with him from wing running back to the inside 50 area. Terrific work rate from the big man.
Couldn't have been a tackle. He ended up having to go for the footy.
That will be analysed within an inch of its life, I think, by the match review panel as to where the contact was made and alternatives and so forth. But for the moment,
injury,
sorry, Jacko, it's produced a goal.
Injury concern for Brad Shepherd. He's in the hands of the trainer. They're strapping his right thigh. Tom Swift is doing some run-throughs on the boundary line here, guys.
Well, they crash on in the Eagles as if they've been stung a bit. Ham Shuey was the architect originally. McGinnity wanders almost to the 50 and gets it in deep. 2-on-1, Dawson. Oh, the fourth arrived, and that was Hill, the former Dog. Tried to get busy. Darling carrying a massive load down there.
Well, a big blue there by Josh Hill, who ended up getting a bit of a gift because he was the one who waded back and the ball floated his way. But then he had really hard hands. That handball had to be soft. It was a goal to the Eagles.
Griffin got the tap.
Just had to have a bit of feel for the occasion there, King. You just had to be just set up in the air, and his teammate would have run into the open and they back in the centre.
Butchered that opportunity in the end, but they're just starting to get their clearance work going now, the Eagles.
Zungu tried to slap it away. Ditto for Mundy. Clear and kick Crowley, just blind stuff, wasn't it?
Well, it's not so much that, but it's this bloke on the end of it who just loves setting up the Eagles. He kicks, usually hit targets.
And there's another prime example for you. It is a dangerous kick in modern footy, though, Kingies. And I know sometimes you can't help it, but just to hack the ball out of the 50.
Well, you've got to make sure you don't hack it forward in the corridor section. You've got to go wide to at least give you a chance to defend that next inside 50 coming back in, if that is to be the case. But through the corridor, too easy for the opposition to counter-attack.
You do rely on blokes up forward, though, to push up and at least have a contest there.
So Gaff, we saw the probability, a line of other AFL players since 2003 in that area, in that zone, the likelihood of a goal was.
Let's just have a look at this handball, because it was a gift, and there it was, just too harsh, and Hams would have run into an open. You are talking to David King, though, Hutto, who's the former president of the Halfback Flankers Union, and get the thing out of the area is one of the great unwritten laws of the halfback. Make it someone else's problem.
Is it unwritten? King, here we go. On the rebound, De Boer for Pavlich again. He's behind this time, but McKenzie couldn't afford to falter. He opened the door for Pavlich, who's looking for his third.
I think he made a blue there. Drop punt for mine. He's such a great drop punt round the corner. He did wait, and I think he was looking for a runner on the outside, but they were well covered. It was good defence by the Eagles, And a good effort by Mackenzie to at least get on the inside and the front of that pack and bring the ball to ground.
Well, Pavlich is 2-2-14 and West Coast are 1-1-7. It's the same scoreline. He's kicked the lot. So they try and bunch up across half forward and keep it contained in their area. Fife close to holding the ball. Nick Natanui is asking for an explanation. Down to you, Jacko.
Michael Barlow's had 4 possessions and some of them telling through the middle of the ground. Matthew Patersons hasn't touched the ball yet, so probably a chance for him to go to Michael Barlow and get himself in the game.
There's Griffin, delicate tap. McGinnity looking for a high contact free, doesn't get it. Griffin, Pavlich again, did he make that stick? No. He obviously knew that it had bounced and was quick to react. Kerr. And now McGinnity takes the mark at half back, but the Pav looking very, very threatening.
They've settled here, the Eagles. They're starting to get their ball use back by foot. They've had 8 effective kicks in a row. They're just starting to roll now. This is danger period here for the Dockers.
Selwood services Hill.
We've got Dean Cox down the ground, and he's in great form in that position.
Duffield just getting a little nervous there as the kick came in. McGinnity's free.
The space has been opened right up for Jack Darling to put in the big lead. Here he goes.
McGinnity searching into the pocket for Darling. Spur cuts across in front. And the ball worked over the line and out of bounds.
Like the look of Spur, he read it really well. He's a youngster and showing some promise.
Pack forms and holding the ball. And it's going to be a Fremantle free.
Well, let's see how they go here on counter-attack from their defensive 50. This is what the Eagles want. Lock the ball in their forward half. This is why they've been one of the best teams in the competition in the last 2 years because of time locked in forward half. This is the game for Fremantle right now. If they can manufacture the way to pierce through this press, they can defeat the Eagles.
Johnson gave them a way out, but the kick missed the mark. That allowed Schofield and Waters to get involved. Marston hurried kick, it's deep. Darling's right at the back, but it's, it almost got through. So it's tight. It's reasonably low scoring, just 2 goals to 1. Feel each other out early in the derby.
Well, Scotty Selwood is doing a fantastic job on Nate Fife. He is running with him. He's sacrificing his own game. He looks like he's going to come to the bench with him as well. Fife just 1 touch at the moment.
Kerr with the guiding ball for Hams, who wanted to get it off because Hearn has got such a mean right foot, but he just couldn't get himself aligned. He was just a fraction off. And so was the resultant kick. So it's 5 points the difference now, but the inside 50s are back on parity. So as you said, David, they've got themselves right back to a better balance, haven't they, the West Coast?
This is the problem here, though, for Fremantle. They just can't get the ball out of their back half effectively now. The Eagles have enforced this press, which we know is their game. In the last 3 occasions they've turned the ball over. Eventually, that will cost them a score.
Looks like they've got a way out here, though, if they can get the next kick.
Yeah, Spur was the one that was able to break into some space. Ibbotson, and over the top is Kepler Bradley, the factor. He's taking him out at half forward. What's the stat, Jared, with Kepler?
6 and 1.
6 and 1. And sometimes you can't see exactly why it is so important with a kick like that, but it's still there.
It's a bit like the Kennett curse. Many don't believe, but the stats are there to back it up.
So the margin is 5. Fremantle with a trip into the 50. Bradley is the 3rd. Natanui, though. Oh, good tackle, Main. Hunts him down. Was that high? Schofield certainly felt it. Ballantyne with the pounce and the instant kick. Walters is somewhere underneath there. So it was Crowley, but Butler with the steady hand and sure foot. Although McPhee had other ideas. Muzungu, the numbers favour Fremantle. He probably didn't need to rush it as much as that, but at least it gets it in there. Natanui had no right to be there. He came from 10 deep and very nearly pulled off an amazing mark. Well, it wouldn't be that amazing for him. Let's have a look.
No, he was just off cue a little bit, just a metre behind takeoff zone, which would have allowed him to launch and grab that footy. But they're missing his work around the ground at the moment. He's winning some taps, but he's not getting any possession at all, which is generally where he dominates the most.
Oh, Walters, great forward pressure on Gaff. And is that in the back against Hill? No, waved on. Selwood, Adam. No room for Main. Barlow fashioned something. Was it touched? It was, so it's a throw in.
This is the problem, Jared. 9-2 the clearances, 10-2 now in favour of Fremantle.
Yep. Well, the bloke who needs to lift at the clearances, and I know he's doing the ruck work, but Nat Nui is nearly their best clearance player, and he's just looking a little bit lethargic at the present time. He needs to find a bit of energy.
He's back involved here. One of 4 ruckmen. Got the ball down to his feet. Hasn't gone anywhere just yet. Selwood, though, along the wing, hoping for Cox. It clears his head. Dawson there to escort it over and out. So we're back on neutral ground on the wing. 2-2-14 Fremantle. West Coast 1-3-9, 6.5 to go.
Much more difficult than Nat Nui to strut his stuff at stoppages, though, where he hits it and gets his own ball away, though, because the Dockers just have so many players in and around this clearance. Good work from Kerr, though.
Well, there was 3 players for each team, wasn't there? It was a bit of a roll of the dice. Brown took it, used the lateral vision, and finds Waters, hard running from Hill and also from Shuey further ahead. Hill takes the mark. Burns at centre-half forward. He doesn't spot him. Instead goes to where the numbers are. Darling has to contend with 3.
And Cox and Griffin grip onto the ball.
It's got something here, Jared. Walters and Kerr off the ball. They've been at each other for a couple of minutes. That was a couple of minutes ago. A few elbows being thrown. Bit happening off the ball. This means something today.
Fife, as we said, he's been constrained so far.
That's the effort.
Scotty Selwood. Been reversed, has it? No.
Good umpiring.
Adam Selwood finds Prittis on the angle. The instant kick in towards full forward. Darling. Out came Dawson. And in the end, they're going to get away okay. Hill with a chipping ball. Now the halfback, Walters, his kick smothered, but he gets a second chance. And he takes it, uses Mundy. The traffic passes. Main's goal side. Can take it, can sum it up, can have a look. Can he kick it 60? Does the maths in his head and then sprays it with a helicopter.
Well, they've broken pretty well when they've broken. If they can get through the press, the Eagles are really vulnerable, and we've seen the paddock used a couple of times for Pavlich for goals and a couple of other times where they should have been goals, like that one.
This is a 50-50 ball at best, but it's been won by Darling, and Selwood arrived just at the right time to provide much-needed assistance. Hill stole the march. Then he was confronted by McFarlane. The ball's still in, though, somehow, hanging by a thread, and it's over and out. 55 around from goal.
Just a moment ago, Jared, we saw Zach Dawson come third man in and drive a big fist through and diffuse a problem at the top of the goal square. That's the luxury that Fremantle have got at their defensive end. Not so at the other end for the Eagles. Big problems at their defensive end for mine, with McKenzie largely one out.
You're talking because of Glass's absence or because of structures?
And structurally, the way they set up most opportunities that are going inside that forward 50. You just see there, releases early off Nick Naitanui, comes across and does the job on Darling. At the other end, it's Pavlich one out versus McKenzie more often than not.
Prittis. Oh, Shuey, that was outright high contact. No one could dispute that, and he'll go back and have a shot.
I don't think anybody will be arguing this one.
He's got history, Jared.
He has.
He did slide up, but he just can't let that happen. Conversation goes on. That's the backdrop to the kick. Shuey to shoot for goal. Give the Eagles the lead. They've been astray so far, as reflected on the scoreboard. 1 goal, 4-10 for West Coast. 2-2-14. The inside 50 count level. 8 each.
Just starting to get some outside ball now, the Eagles. 13-21 the last 10 minutes, the uncontested football. And they're just starting to get their running game going. If they can just correct this clearance issue, they could really dominate this game.
Well, they're trying to correct it just simply by kicking. Look at their numbers. They've had 46 kicks and just 9 handballs.
Duffield moved it quickly. Pavlich up the ground to lend some assistance. Duffield again. Main's got away also. Brown will come up over the top. Effective spoil. First to recover though was Main. De Boer on the brink. Not a good service at all for Walters. able to control it, or half control it at least. Well done, Waters was sweating on him all the way through.
Just lacking just that little bit of polish. The Dockers, they're a couple of times now inside their forward 50. They should have actually been able to think their way through. The last one was Main. Again, that was Main. Just a poor kicking error has cost them another goal.
Hill remains a threat. Bradley. Oh, falls for Mzungu into his lap, and he's put it through. And they are like gold today.
And looking at the weather, they're going to get harder to get. It's pretty grey when you look down to the southwest of the oval. Hasn't affected play at the moment, but it may well get pretty wet. It is one of those other little quick kicks that you talked about, Hutto, getting the ball in and out of there. There it goes. Oh, and Mzungu couldn't believe his luck.
Look at the clearances, 12-5 in favour of Fremantle, and they capitalise there. Free kick to Nick Nat in the middle of the ground.
Different role for Johnson today. He's going really well one-on-one. Big grab there from the back.
Commanding in the air as he has been all season.
Johnson, usually a floater, gets as many possessions as anybody for the Dockers, and today has not had a touch. Quentin Lynch, though, he's also been pretty quiet.
Nick Dananui. Mark Pay. Michael Johnson averages 21 disposals a game this year, Jared, to underline your point.
He's just been a sweeper across that half-back line, but not today. Glenn McFarlane at the moment has been really good in some of those jumps from behind.
Barlow trying to stab the pass to Pavlich. Again, it missed all comers. Adam Selwood stretching the handball. All the way back, McKenzie to Butler. And then to the wing to Scott Selwood. Got the call from Gaff. Just enough liberty to get himself into the clear. McPhee engaged early on Hill and thumped that one over the line. So we're getting close to quarter time.
Spinning the moves forward of centre here. They've got Hams who's pushed his way to full forward, and there's no logical matchup for him in a defensive sense at the moment, and Michael Johnson's had to go to him.
Bradley looking for a free, and the umpire agreed with his read on that one. Now, it's still fairly open for them deep, so get it in there quickly. No marking target for them at all, though. Pavlich vacated the area, which was interesting. He was pushing back to goal.
Yeah, but Clancy Pearce had to go for that one. I mean, it may not be perfectly laced out, but that just had to be a contest. And Marston's doing a pretty good job there.
Kerr with 8 disposals for West Coast so far. Fife just the 2 for Freo. Here's McKenzie again. They're looking backwards to try and go forwards. There's danger written all over that pass. Now Ballantyne. It's within his capabilities, but he wants to do the team thing. Goes to Pavlich. He computes it pretty well for Walters, who can stroll in. Another one to Freo. What a start to the derby.
Now, that's the polish that was lacking a couple of other times in this last 10 minutes. That was a really smart kick. He was thinking about going to Kepler-Bradley, but Kepler had an opponent who was sweating on that. And here's this turnover that really is very much unlike the Eagles. But it was a smart play by Ballantyne. You can see him going for Bradley at the top of the screen. He's desperate for it, but he just waits, and that's the smart play, and Pavlich unselfishly whips it over the top.
So Michael Walters, who's kicked 3, 2 and 1 in his 3 games so far this year, adds another today in the derby. 16 points the margin. Cox up over the top. Zungu hit it hard. Kerr with the scraps. Got it going. Marston deep. Hill's got to fly against 3. Stayed down. Spur, a lone hand for Freo. Hill closes and closed pretty well. Turns up the pressure. And the umpire says no. made an attempt.
That's their first tackle inside the forward 50, Hutto, and that's what they are lacking at the moment. Time in forward half, build some pressure.
Spur again over it.
Also lacking some marks down there. They just haven't had that ball where they've been able to control it and kick it to either an Atnui or a Cox or Darling.
Hill. And McFarlane there to escort it through.
They just haven't worked hard enough, Jared, the West Coast forward line. McPhee and McFarlane are just picking off Hill and Darling every time.
Siren sounds another promising move was being constructed by Fremantle, but they won't be complaining. Matthew Pavlich with 2 goals and Freo with 4. They lead by 15.
And they're doing it by foot. 60 kicks to 14 handballs for Fremantle Dockers. They are just spotting them up and slicing them up.
Nothing boring about Freo today. They have the lead at quarter time in Derby 36.